Hi, sweet Stampin' friends. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to do some fun crafting. I am Debra Harrison with Simply Sweetening Designs, and each Friday I like to join you to just kick off the weekend with a fun crafting project. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to use the seasonal labels dies in a different way to be able to make a fun gift box. So as you hop on, say hello, let me know who is crafting with me today. And if you stop by later to watch the replay, just leave me a comment that you stopped by. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, let me go ahead and turn my camera down so that you can see what we're going to play with today. And as well, I'm going to remove this banner so we have the full work surface for you to be able to see. But take note of my blog, Simply Sweet Ink Designs. That is the hub of everything I do in my business. Best way to stay connected with me and everything I have going on, as well as come back and watch the replay of today's project. All right, guys, so this is the seasonal labels dies, and it's actually part of the Christmas season stamp set. As you can see, these are the dies that you would use to cut out the images from this stamp set. However, one of my favorite things about this die set is these label dies. They are magnificent. They're nice and large and great to work with. In fact, I'm going to show you how I used these last year in a project kit. And they layer very well with each other to provide fun background accents. So that's using one of the label dies, and that was another one. I did a little background there with actually with this label, I just did it with a green background, and then this really large label. Lots of room to play with and design with. And this is actually the label that we're going to be using from the set to make a gift box. So let me share with you the project that we're actually going to make today. And it is using the True Beauty bundle. I love this bundle, and I just love the colors and in the designer series paper, as well as these really beautiful flowers. So this is what we're going to make today. Really fun, easy treat box. And I'm going to share with you the bundle that we're using and the paper. So the bundle is really easy to work with. And what I love about it is when I stamp the images and I die cut them out, they look very similar to the designer series paper, which is phenomenal. And this is a magnificent die. I am going to share with you, actually this True Beauty bundle is the focus of my September Sweet Creations Club. So I'm going to share those projects with you here in a little bit, but I wanted to share with you about this really beautiful bundle and the paper that we're going to be playing with today. So the paper that we're using actually comes from the Awash in Beauty Designer Series paper, and it's got some really beautiful patterns here. It does come 12 by 12. I'm just showing you some 6 by 6 versions here. And what I did for the Sweet Creations Club is I pulled out some of the pinks and the whites that were in here to be able to coordinate. Now, this is what I love. This particular sheet right here is probably my favorite because it coordinates with the dies so that you can actually cut out of the designer series paper directly if you would like. There, it actually cuts out a lot of these pieces, the leaves, all these little pieces here you can die cut out with the dies from the set. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm getting my supplies. Let me show you the back real quick. So there's some really pretty patterns here too. Just more muted, more solid colors rather than prints. And so the supplies that I am going to be using today coordinate just the real pretty pinks and greens. Now, if you're on my email list, you will get the project sheet for the project today, and it will provide all the supplies and the measurements and instructions on how to recreate this box. So if you're not on my email list, make sure that you subscribe. You can opt in and stay connected with my weekly project sheets, as well as my promotions and events that I have coming up. And I've got a really cool one I'm going to tell you about here in a little bit after I finish today's project. All right, so I am going to do a little bit of scoring. Now, let me tell you, the piece of paper that I'm using here, this is Blushing Bride cardstock, and it measures 5.5 by 7 inches. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the long side at the top, and we are going to score at 2 3/4. And then again at 4 1/4, we're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and we're going to score again at 1.5 and at 4 inches. And that is going to be the base for the box that we're going to make today. We're going to do a little bit of snipping on these score lines. Let me kind of show you right here. Right here, we've got some score lines here in the middle, and that's where I want to snip up to form my tabs. So I'm just going to snip up right here on each side. I'm going to kind of angle cut. Turn it around. We're going to do the same thing for the other side. I see some of you are on. Hello, sweet Stampin' friends. Oh, Jan, you love the, oh, thank you. I know, I love the designer series paper. It's so pretty. All right, so here is our template for our box. And so what we're going to do is we're going to burnish the score lines. Get nice, crisp edges so that our box goes together nicely. Hello, Terry. Hello, Simone, Jan. Thank you for joining me, friends. All right, so now that we have our score lines burnished, we're going to glue the sides together to assemble our box. Just glue the one side there. I'm going to turn around and we're going to glue the other tab. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to each side here, my long sides. And we're going to finish assembling the box here. Just a really, really simple box. You could do all kinds. You could even decorate this if you wanted as it is, but we're going to use those seasonal labels dies. So we're going to set this aside for just a moment. Oh, I know, right? Thank you, Terry. Thank you for noticing. Actually, I was noticing that too. I don't even remember. Actually, this is a dip that I use for my nail color, and it has a number, so it doesn't even have a name, but I think they should call it Blushing Bride, right? I think so. Thank you for noticing, Terry. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to decorate the top of our box, and we're going to do that by die cutting out the seasonal labels die. So I use that really large die in the set, and I cut out 2 large labels in Blushing Bride, and then I cut one out in the designer series, the Awash and Beauty designer series paper. Now, I am going to tell you a little bit here. When you go to put your designer series paper on, make sure that you check the alignment, because when I was looking at this, it doesn't, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, it does not line up perfectly. So you got to make sure that it's positioned correctly so that it is perfect. So I guess there was just a little bit of difference when they made the die, so it doesn't line up exactly right. So just double check that before you glue your designer series paper on. So we're going to put the designer series paper on one of the labels. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add glue to the front of our box. You can use tear and tape, or you can use multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm going to stand it up, and I'm going to rest my designer series paper label flat against my table surface, and then just glue it to the front. And then just kind of press in there, get it to adhere really well. And then we're going to add glue to the back. And again, same thing. I'm just going to line that up flush with the table, and then make sure it's kind of centered left to right. All right, so that is our box, and now we get to have some fun decorating the front. So what I did for this is I took one of the other designers, the other seasonal labels die. I took one of them, did it in not Whisper White. Oh my gosh, that's dating me. Basic White, and we're going to stamp on it. We used to have Whisper White, I guess a couple of years ago, and then the mill who made it, I think they went out of business during COVID, and so Stampin' Up! Had to find a new supplier, and so our product, our white, is now called Basic White. So from the True Beauty stamp set, I'm selecting the sentiment that says you are a true friend, and I'm going to stamp it in Granny Apple Green on the right side of my label so that I have room on the left to place all my pretty flowers. Now on the flowers, I want to share this with you because this is really cool. Remember how I told you we have the designer series paper that we can die cut from? I also too, I stamped some, and they stamp. I'm gonna show you the difference. Okay, so this is the stamped, and that is what it looks like from the designer series paper. And then this one is the stamped one, and that is the designer series paper. Just look how beautifully that stamps compared to the designer series paper that's pre-printed. So I just wanted to share that with you because I just really love how well these stamps produce the beautiful images. Okay, so now I'm going to glue my sentiment label on the front. And then we are going to adhere. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on. This is actually die cut from the True Beauty dies and using vellum. And I love our vellum. I'm going to try to sneak it under here actually. See if I can grab that. I meant to do that before I glued that down. Let's see if I can sneak under there real quick. I don't think so. All right, I'm not gonna be able to do that. So what I'm gonna do is, since I don't need that little tail right there on my branch, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull that off. That way I can glue this down. Okay, and then I'm going to pop up my flower with a dimensional. And then lastly, I'm going to adhere the leaf that I die cut underneath. And then I want to bling it up a little bit. So I'm going to use the Elegant Faceted Gems. And we're just going to put some of these onto the front here of our box. Add some really pretty sparkle. And our project is done. The box is done. Do you think these will? I don't know, Terry, if they're going to stick around for a while. You talking about the seasonal labels dies? They were actually in the last holiday catalog back in 2021. So, and I know they moved to the annual catalog. So I don't know how long they're going to remain. We know we're going to have them at least through, what is the end of April for sure, because they're part of the annual catalog. So there is the box. And what I did is I just used Cello, one of our Cello envelopes, cut off the adhesive part, put in some nail polish, and then wrapped it inside and tied it off with our new, this is actually the soft seafoam ribbon that's in the holiday catalog. I just thought it was really pretty, coordinated really nicely with the colors for this project. All right, I wanted to share with you. So I have been doing a lot of designing lately for the upcoming months. And so what I did is I used the exact same configuration, the same design, but what I did is I used it to make a cute pumpkin with that big label die. And this is actually going to be one of the projects for my September Stampin' Bunko. So I thought that was another way that you could use this die to make something fun for the fall. All right, so I wanted to share with you about the Sweet Creations Club. It is using the True Beauty bundle, and it's going to be making these projects with the bundle and the designer series paper. It's really beautiful, and those really pretty faceted gems. And this is just a quick little fun fold, and then a really pretty treat bag to put inside. So let me tell you a little bit about that. I'm not going to go into all the details. You can click on the link and you can get all the information there. And to sign that, there are two options. You can subscribe monthly, get my project kit every month. You don't have to think about registering, or you can just try it for 1 month, and there is a separate link to do that. The registration for the Sweet Creations Club runs through September 5th, and I will ship out the project kits by September 15th. Okay, I wanted to tell you too, next in September, I'm going to be offering my Halloween mystery box. So I'm telling you now, so that you have plenty of time. If you're not on my email list, make sure you are on my email list, because you will get priority access to my Halloween mystery craft box. This is one of my one of my most popular boxes. So I want to make sure that you get advance notice of it so that you can register. Now, I will open it up to the general public to register starting on September 2nd. So it's a really fun box of Halloween projects, products, and some fun little goodies inside for you. Now, if you are wanting to get a little bit early access to some Halloween crafting, Paper Pumpkin is going to be doing a spooky treats kit box in September. So if you want to sign up for that, you can subscribe either monthly to Paper Pumpkin, or you can purchase a prepaid code in my Stampin' Up store. And you want to make sure and do that by September 10th if you would like to get the spooky treats box. Actually, there are some really cool things. I don't know if you've seen it on the Paper Pumpkin website. They actually showed they have a Halloween box coming and then 2 Christmas box comings over the next 3 months. So I am highly recommending, this is usually my favorite time of the year for Paper Pumpkin. So I recommend ordering a 3-month prepaid code, redeeming it by September 10th, and then you will get all 3 of those really fun holiday boxes with Paper Pumpkin. All right, guys, let's see if there's anything else that I have to share with you. I don't think so, but I sure enjoyed you crafting with me today. And thank you for joining me. And guys, we will see you next Friday. Take care. Bye, guys.